This is the video game that ignited the controversy. It features live action video, including some scantily clad teenage girls and scenes of abduction.
Oh, hey, what am I doing? See, I've been given a mission by SCAT. And don't worry, it's an acronym. For shit, cock, ass, titties. See, SCAT has been investigating a house where a bunch of girls have gone missing. And recently they've installed security cameras and various traps throughout the rooms and hallways. And with a new group of girls staying at the Lakeshore home overnight, SCAT sent 80s actress Dana Plato from 80s sitcom Different Strokes to hopefully lure the culprits out. And it's my job to monitor everything and solve this case. Let's hope this night trap is successful. It's about time Night Trap got sleazy! The concept for Night Trap initially came from the idea for a Hasbro game that allowed a player to freely move about rooms via security cameras. This would allow the player to follow the story they want to follow, demonstrated more as an interactive media experience than a video game, as pretentious as that sounds. Scene of the Crime was created to test these new gameplay ideas, using full motion videos with actors. This heist mystery would be the prototype to the 1992 Sega CD game, Night Trap. The production took 6 months and was filmed more like a movie shoot, having a director and director of photography and all that. The latter, Don Burgess, would go on to shoot Forrest Gump, but Night Trap is no Forrest Gump. It's more like the Slumber Party Massacre. A lot of work was put into this, so if you want to learn more after this video, check out this rad documentary by My Life in Gaming, Night Trap, 25 years later. The release of Night Trap was a controversial one. See, having full motion video, or FMV, was a new concept. When you have
Scantily clad teenage girls
run throughout a house in danger of murderous intruders, well, let's just say the United States Senate wasn't too pleased with the tone of violence like in Mortal Kombat, saying the game, quote, promoted a culture of carnage, unquote, and, quote, a disgusting, offensive game that should not be shown to civilization, unquote. We may be fine with it, but hey, people be crazy. The hearing eventually led into the ESRB you see in all games now. Now, I like my weird shit, obviously, but is it worth replaying today? Was Night Trap that bad, or at least that violent to be worth the controversy? Let's take a closer look to answer these questions.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads.
So as I mentioned earlier briefly, the gameplay is all about monitor switching. You have 8 different rooms, for living rooms to hallways to bathrooms to even the outside. Control-wise, switching the monitors is simple. You just move the cursor over the room and select it. And you only have 2 other buttons for commands, making the security board very easy to comprehend. And even though I'm playing on the PS4 re-release thanks to limited run games, the transitions between rooms is instantaneous, making quick movements very easy, which you'll find out is a necessity. Now the point of the game is to keep the kids safe by catching the intruders. These guys are called augurs, yeah, like the power tool, which are black-dressed hunchbacks or something of the sort. They work for vampires, but it's important to distinguish them from the bloodsuckers. This is because the developers thought it would be too dark with the plot, although the way the augurs take blood is arguably more violent, draining blood with a tool instead. Anyways, to capture them, you have to hit the capture button at the right time, in the right room, as indicated by the capture meter. Capture enough augurs and save the right people at the right time, and you'll win the game within its 30-minute time span. Some of these traps range from comical to pretty violent. Like wapow! Wham! Burn! Burn! This seems all easy except for the security code aspect. This color-coded system is what activates the traps, and it's important to know which color to have on and when to activate it, because sometimes when you hear the code change, you'll have to wait a moment or two before you're supposed to change it, making later game challenges a bit tougher if you're not paying attention. So don't expect Night Trap to be a breeze.
Access code from blue to red.
Don't worry, Mom. It's all in the fingers.
It's all in the fingers.
Good hunting.
How to sleaze-a-roo? Make sure you round up that cattle and take him to the haystack.
Kelly, our undercover agent, has to protect the girls alongside occasional appearances from scat operatives. So you can watch all the ladies go about the house doing whatever it is girls do, like sing the theme for Night Trap.
Music! But since I ripped from China, you got a night by blocking for yourself now. Everybody knows that I get kicked out. Girl, you got me down, you got me banned now. Cause ever since I ripped from China.
It's all silly stuff with bad acting and atrocious dialogue that feels more like a horror-themed sitcom, which I love. Teens, terror, and traps, oh my.
We just have to trust that they are making home. I can't stand it! Megan, no!
I don't understand.
You'd never understand. Just leave now.
Ah!
Hoping one day to become a vampire.
Ew!
Vampires, you gotta be jabbing me. Let's cuff these freaks and drag them downtown.
Hold it.
And the nice thing about the version I'm playing on is the fact that all the visuals and HUD has been updated to look as clean as possible. Night Trap was released on multiple consoles like Sega CD, 32X, and 3DO, with each rendition looking a tad different. However, the 25th anniversary is the nicest one yet. If you want to try the older HUDs, then this version will allow you to, just so you know. If you want to see the house guests go around talking and dancing, drinking wine and trying face masks and whatnot, then go ahead. But be warned that you can't beat the game that way. The goal is to catch the augurs, so the majority of the time you have to look at rooms with nothing in it just to catch the incoming augurs. So I recommend if you play Night Trap, try to enjoy the pixelated immersion of the story as much as you can first.
I was wondering if maybe you had seen me boat.
Your boot.
Me boat. Boat! Oh! Me.
But with that basic review portion out of the way, holy shit is this game hard in all the wrong ways. First off, when I say you have to capture enough augurs to win, I mean almost all of them. There are 100 of these dark intruders to catch, and you can only miss a couple. You need a near flawless game to win, and in a game where there are more than plenty ways to lose. It's a lot of, I hope you're listening and paying attention, I hope you're listening and paying attention, I hope you're listening and paying attention, in areas where you might not be doing so. The augurs show up in time beats, making memorization a must. The problem is that they move about too quick for any real person without a guide to react. This results in you slowly missing augurs constantly, making you ultimately lose even if you think you're doing fine. My first time playing this 30-minute game, I played for over 2 hours and couldn't beat it. I'm serious. This game requires a guide to finish, making Night Trap the toughest 30 minutes of a game you'll ever play.
Megan, this isn't gonna work. You're not scaring me. Wait. What are you doing now? Hit me up!
Megan! Looking from the outside, Night Trap seems like a cool, fun time. But you really can't enjoy the experience due to the overbearing difficulty. The timing of it all just gets more intense when the codes change, when you have to purposely miss certain catch alarms in the later portions, and you ultimately are just looking at empty rooms the majority of the time. Attempting to beat the game means you have to miss out on most of the fun FMVs, so really, what's the point in playing? What a fucking Night Trap indeed.
You gotta be jabbing me.
Look, I get it. There's something alluring about Night Trap. It's one of the most controversial games of all time. It's silly now, like if Fortnite caused parental locks to be forced, but back then, this was huge. The gameplay system is inventive and interesting, the full motion video is ambitious and fun, but the core game is overall flawed to its difficulty that plays against all that Night Trap is going for. In all honesty, Night Trap isn't that shocking. I mean, it's 2018 and the entire world is different than in 1992, but there's no nudity or excessive gore like a head getting ripped off or anything like that. If anything, the most shocking aspects are the augurs being more vile than the vampires with their blood draining device and the laughably atrocious dialogue.
Oh, you're right, they're here.
Who's that?
I don't know.
The game was just more fuel to the fire during the pre-ESRB era that people still remember it to this day. With all that said, I'm glad this game got a HD re-release in 2017, because Night Trap is historically significant in the history of video games and game design. It may not hold up as a good game, but the interest, intrigue, and awe factor still remain. It's a fascinating half hour in which I believe everyone should try at least once. Despite the fact that the initial release became a controversial mess, Night Trap is sure one hell of a digital media experience. Well, my mission is accomplished, the girls are safe, the augurs are defeated, and Night Trap is finished. Scat should be proud of this victory. You think you're safe? You think you're victorious? Nah, cause I, Maximum Sleaze, am not done with you, Virch. Not by a long shot, and not even by a hook shot. Yeah, see, next episode, I'll be there, face to face, sleaze to sleaze, and then, you. You what? You what? It's finally happening. The showdown with the final deadly sleaze. Next episode. Episode goddamn 50.